Hi Stampers! Today we're making a couple succulent plants. They're so popular right now and they look very real. People always have to touch them to make sure that they're paper. So I have a couple here. This is from old olive paper. You can see the detail. This one is rich raspberry. This one is, what's that color? Always artichoke. And then for a fun little extra, I made this little cactus out of an oval punch, or it could be an oval die. Let's get started. So for these succulents, you'll need the succulent die, which is retiring at Stampin' Up, but they're still available as far as I know, as of making this video. You'll need 6 of these little flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've already cut them out, and here they are. I'm doing this one in rich raspberry. So it's a very simple technique. They look harder than they really are. I'm using Whisper White ink and a dauber, sponge dauber. Sorry, I lost my dauber here. And some people are real fussy on the way that they daub these. They go real gentle. I'm not a fussy person on this sort of thing. So I'm just basically sponging the inside of each of these petals, but avoiding the center. The reason why I'm avoiding it because that's where they're glued, and the wet ink might stop the process, or not stop it, but it just holds better without the center done, like I just did that one. And on these little ones, you just kind of just give it a little bit. And that's it for the white. And then I've also added some always artichoke on the edges, and that just gives it a little bit more dimension. So just kind of see how their colors are kind of mixing here with the white. So I'm just adding a little bit extra on each one. Again, I'm not being fussy about it. And every one of these will look different depending on the way you sponge. So you can see how quickly this goes. We made 25 of these in an hour at a woman's event, and they were all cut out already, but the assembly and everything was done that quickly. So that's it as far as sponging it. Now we're going to take an aqua painter and our pad, our piercing pad, and we're going to put them on there and just puff them up. So I use the end of the aqua painter. You could use any rounded, hard thing. I don't know what you want to call it, because this is a surface. That's not a surface. Anyway, so you're going to press pretty hard and kind of go in a circular motion on these big ones. You don't want to hang on to it because then they won't twirl. So you just press and let it go around. On the smaller flowers, you're just going to press down. You have to be careful you don't lose the little petals. They're very delicate. Just like that. Then we'll take a bone folder and just put these petals just to kind of curl them a little bit. It gives them a little bit of a more real look. Just be careful that, notice I'm holding it on this part so that they don't rip off the petals. You can do that with the big ones. And that's it. And these I'm not doing anything with. Okay. The next step is putting them together. Put this on back on the paper so I don't get glue on my main sheet. So we're just using the Tombow multi-purpose glue, and what I like to do is when I'm doing multiple gluing, when I do it for multiple gluing, I just have a baby wipe in here, a wet baby wipe, any circular device like a shot glass or something works. Leave the cap off, set it down in there, and it doesn't dry. Sometimes I've forgotten about it and left it overnight. And the first one, you would just put a pretty big blob of glue in there. Set the next one in. Okay, cooperate here. And you just hold it down for a moment. You don't want to put too much glue in. You can see it sort of oozing out because they will get sticky. Another little dot of glue. Alternate the leaf. The next one, another small dot. Put that one in. See how quickly these go together. And then the last one, just a tiny dot. And that's all there is to it. So now you have a cool looking flower. So I got these little pots. They're only, I think they're 1.5 inches size at a craft store. And I put some of the moss in there, and you want to fill it in pretty solid so that this thing doesn't get lost. And I just flip it over, put a big glob of glue on, and set it in there. And eventually it'll dry. And after it dries, I take, as you can see on these, I just take my bone folder and just kind of, actually I think I took my finger, and just sort of bring them up a little bit, give them a little more life so they're not so flat. But you just want to make sure this dries first. And that's how you make the flower. Isn't that cool? In one of my classes I did add a little bit of a decoration, and this is from a paper pumpkin stamp. Punched it on a piece and stapled it onto a piece of chipboard and just shoved it in there. So you have a little happy spring. Could be a great gift for Mother's Day or just any kind of gift, and they won't die. I'll show you real quickly how to make this other cute little one. This one goes really fast. I punched 6 of these, bring this back, 6 of these, this is from a punch, but you can use, we have an oval die, oval scallop die. Doesn't matter the size, they're all made the same. And we're going to stamp it with some grunge. And this grunge happens to be from the Awesomely Artistic set. Just to get the little dots on there. You could draw them in too, I suppose. But again, I'm not real fussy on some of this stuff. So I'm just adding some little dots. On one side only is all you need. And again, I use six ovals. You could do more or you could do less. This seemed to be just enough. And that's all you do with this. Now we're going to fold each one in half. And you want to have the, wait, I'm folding them wrong. You want to have the image on the inside. So the plain side is on the outside. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to put a little bit of Tombow glue on one flap. Hold it together. And you do that with all 6 of your little ovals. Just keep placing them on top of each other. Okay, one more. And so you have all 6 flattened out like that. And then the final part is putting a little more glue on the top, bringing this all around and squishing those together. And that's how you get your little cactus. The next step is just adding the flower, and I'm using this flower punch, just this one. I'm using Mambo, and you punch out three flowers. My original one has, kind of messy, has yellow. I believe this is so saffron, and my grandson mentioned that it should have pink, so that's what we're doing. And I just put these together with some glue dots. So I'm just putting glue dots on each one. So we'll just put them together. Again, stagger them so they make a fuller flower. And put an extra one on the top. And to keep this so the flower stays on better, I think I'm going to just trim the top so that it's a little flatter. Like that. And now we can add our flower. Isn't that adorable? You can foof these up if you'd like. Just take your fingers and there. Looks pretty real. And again, you can get the little pots, fill them with the moss, put some glue on the end, and shove it in there. And here we could even just put these two together. Isn't that fun? So go create some succulents. Have a good day.